Today I've just got this in. It's Teclast F15 and it's the first 15.6-inch Gemini Lake laptop. A lot of you have been waiting for a bigger version of this relatively low-end CPU. So it's a quad-core, has a maximum turbo 2.4, the Gemini Lake, a Celeron branded, and of course it is that N4100. It is paired up with 8 GB of RAM and it has 256 GB of SATA 3 M.2 storage in here. Promising looking laptop, backlit keyboard. I'm not sure if the screen is fully laminated. It does have Intel's wireless AC and a thin build to it. So let's check it out. So this video, I'm just going to unbox it, quickly go over a few things before my final review, which will be in probably about a week's time once I have tested out everything, thermals and battery life, you name it. So we have a larger box, obviously, with a larger laptop, but it's the same exact style as the F7 Plus that I reviewed. And it's relatively well packed. There's a bit of padding around the edges, so it shouldn't be damaged, hopefully not. Okay, feels quite heavy in hand, so I will check the weight. And here we have, obviously, our charger. There's some warranty cards and whatnot in here. And that is in English. So quick start guide to Windows, warranty. And our charger, it looks exactly the same as the F7 Pluses. And its output is 12 volts, 2 amps. It's a positive in the middle, the plug. To me, it feels quite heavy, so 1.89 kilos. It's not exactly the lightest 15.6-inch laptop out there. So we have a mostly alloy build, and it's a dark silver color, as you can see. Teclast logo on the top. Not much, in fact, hardly any flex there pressing down on the lid. And then on the bottom, we've got 4 solid rubber feet and 2 downwards firing speakers. And you can see at the top, that is our SSD hatch. So just one screw and we've got access to the 256 gigabyte SATA 3 SSD. It's 22 by 80 is the size in millimeters. One other good thing about this drive, the bay here for the SSDs, so we've got 2280, 2260 or 2242, the smaller size SSDs that it will take. All you need to do is just move this plastic clip here, unscrew it from here, screw it either there or there for the smaller sized SSDs. On the right hand side we've got a mic, that's one of 2, there's one on each side, 3.5mm headphone jack with mic support, and I will check the thickness here. So that is about 13.6mm, that's without the rubber foot. If I include that rubber foot, that brings it up now to 16, just under 17mm. It's not bad considering this is a 15.6-inch laptop. And then on the left side, we've got the second mic. So there's one either side. So dual array microphones. DC in for charging, of course, and a status LED to let you know when it is fully charged, it'll turn green. And here's where things are quite a bit different. So we've got a micro SD card slot where the SD cards sit in flush, so they won't be broken off, which is good. And then we've got 2 full-sized USB 3 ports. Under this little rubber cover there, you can see them, and a full-size HDMI. I believe it's HDMI 2 spec, 2.0A. I will check that out. Okay, so here we go. I have not actually opened this yet. Is it a fully laminated display? It looks like it could actually be. I'll take a closer look at that in a second. First look at that touchpad. Wow, it is actually massive. Look how big that is. That's huge. That's good. I'm not against that. So we have a full number keyboard there as well, which is great to have for those people that were missing out on that. Now just point up to the screen so you can see it's outlining all the key specs there that we already know. And I'll just take a closer look now at that screen. Okay, so I can confirm that yes, it is fully laminated. This is great because it was a bit of a letdown, the Teclast F7 Plus. It had that gap in the screen glass in front of it. Now there are little rubber feet. You can see one here. And there's one on the other side. The webcam, the top bezel doesn't look to be too bad. And there is a lip around the outside that is plastic, I think. But it is a metal lid. Overall, the build quality seems really good. But let's get rid of this ugly screen protector. It does, as you can see, have dust trapped underneath it. So that's going to really irritate me. So I might as well just get rid of the whole thing. Okay, so that looks so much better with the screen protector off. I'm just going to power it on. Normally they do have some battery. So keep tapping escape and delete. One of those keys should get us straight into the BIOS. And here we go. Okay, the screen is shimmering on camera. I can see that. It's just the brightness they have set in the BIOS there. It's a pulse width modulation flicker, but that is not happening when I'm looking at it. So that is the main thing. What I wanted to check here is under the CPU configuration. So we should have, hopefully, a completely unlocked BIOS, which it looks to be. CPU power management. This is the main one we want. Okay, and yes, it is. Unlocked power limit, so we will be able to change that. They've set it to auto, which is probably going to be just the 6-watt TDP that Intel recommends with these. So just exit out of that. That'll boot into Windows. So here we go, the screen not flickering because I increased the brightness, so there's no more flicker on camera. First impressions of the screen, it does look very good. Now I will get out my Spider Pro 5 and I will test it. I'll get our sRGB, Adobe RGB values out of this screen. It probably won't be amazing because it is of course a budget laptop, this one here. Now I want to point out too that the RAM, so that's running at 2133 megahertz. It is in dual channel, which is great. And in the device manager here, the processor, so the Celeron N4100, and the drive that we've got on there, that 256 gigabyte one that I pointed out, the 22 by 80 millimeter SATA 3 M.2 is a Teclast branded one. I will benchmark that in this video, so don't worry about that. I'll give you the speeds on it. And the wireless, we'll just check that. And the network adapters. So yes, it's the dual band Intel Wireless AC3165. So I will check the performance of that and update you in the full review, of course. So Windows, it comes with a rather dated build of Windows, so it's 1709. You'll need to run Windows Update quite a few times to get that to the latest Redstone 5 or whatever it is now that they're up to. And Windows is activated all fine. I noticed that there was no setup. It just went straight into Windows. So it must have been gear-based at the factory maybe before they sent it out to me. They've done their check on it just to make sure that everything is working. That happens a lot with a lot of sellers, a lot of these retailers will check these products first. So first impressions of the screen do look really good. Now one thing I really do like about this panel, and you probably noticed that the blacks are very deep. There is almost as black as the bezels on the outside, which is pretty good for an IPS panel. I haven't seen any IPS bleed or light leakage around the edges as well, but if you do look close enough, this is a 1080p IPS panel, of course at 15.6 inches. If you look close enough, you are going to see the pixels there, but at a normal viewing distance, it's perfectly fine, and so far I really like the screen. And the same goes for the keyboard. So the keyboard, pressing down now really hard, there's normal typing on this, you're going to get no bounce or flex. This is a very good keyboard so far. Good key travel, nice enough spacing. That's a little bit wider, I think, on the Lapbook SE and the Teclast F7 Plus. However, of course, we've got this on the right-hand side, a number pad that a lot of you love, and that is good to have that on there. A lot of shortcuts here. So this is the shortcut for the backlight. So yes, it is a backlit keyboard. And if you tap on this, so once, that's the first level, and then the second level of brightness or off. I think it came on automatically. I will have to double check that one there. And we've got page up and down, print screen, which is great to have on there, your home, all of those controls. So it looks like a very decent keyboard. And maybe the arrow keys here is the only real complaint. Now this touchpad is massive. It is controlled by Windows Precision drivers. And so far, the accuracy seems really good. This is a good touchpad. Now, first impressions, I've only just been using it now just for a little bit. But so far, I can say that, yeah, there are no problems with this touchpad. Accuracy seems really good. And it's just massive. This is huge. The biggest touchpad I have seen, I think, on these laptops. And another good move here from Teclast, the power button is separated away from the keyboard, so no accidental presses. And here's just another look at that touchpad. Just look at how big it is compared to the keyboard. So you can clearly see someone's been following Apple. But I'm not complaining. It's a really good touchpad. So the build quality is really good so far. I can't fault it. This is good. It feels premium. It looks pretty good. We've got an outer hinge. And I noticed that the hinge goes down almost all the way. So there's a bit of a problem that I'll show you in just a second. So that's as far as the hinge goes. In fact, the last little bit there, it seemed to fall down under its own weight. Now my concern is what happens if you're using those USB 3 ports? Then we're going to have a problem, aren't we? So I plug in my drive here. How far will it go before the screen, of course, is going to end up touching that? Okay, not as bad as I thought. To about there. And there's still a little bit of room. So about now it's touching. Okay, so if you push that right down, of course, you're going to damage the screen, or you're going to leave a little bit of a mark on the metal of the frame, or the outside of the top of the lid there. So it looks like it's not that much of an issue that I thought it might have been, because most of the time you're going to be using it about that angle or even a little bit more, and you've still got enough space there to plug in all sorts of flash drives. You can see the flash drive that I've used here. That's actually quite a thick one, so it's kind of worst case scenario, although some of those USB 3 memory card readers, they are quite thick, aren't they? Okay, now speaker test time. This is the weakness normally of all of these budget laptops that I do review coming out of China. They're normally quite weak. Downward firing, don't particularly like the location because normally you do block them if you use this on your lap. Now it's a fanless laptop, so you're not going to be blocking any vents. But let's have a listen to how these speakers sound. Okay, so they are definitely not the loudest speakers. They are lacking in volume. The quality of them, however, does sound all right. They've got a tiny bit of bass in there. There's some treble. So if I can use software later to boost up that volume a little bit, then we have some decent sounding speakers, I think. Now, only just a hands-on here, but my estimates with battery life, it's telling me a full runtime of 4 hours, but that's because I've been benchmarking. I've got the brightness stuck at 100%, so it's consuming a lot of power here. My estimate is you're looking at probably about 7 hours, possibly 8, when you have the brightness at about 30%, 40%, which will be fine for indoor use. But of course, I will give you a full update when I do post my complete review. Now, it is too early to talk about performance, but I can tell you that it does feel smooth. 2-finger scrolling, that's all working fine. Sorry, if I actually just do it properly. I'm not having any issues with that, as you can see. I'm using the gestures, and it's loading things in really quick. It does feel quick and snappy, this laptop so far, so no real problems there. It's helped by the fact that we've got dual channel RAM instead of the single, so that helps pick up the performance a little bit there. But I can feel it being restricted a little by that 6-watt TDP that they have by default there, because they've set the power limit, as I showed you in the BIOS, to just the default auto setting there. So if you can override that, if thermals permit, we can set it to 9 watts or 10. That will really help pick up the performance. And just a quick benchmark, so this is Geekbench for the scores here. They're fine for the chipset. I don't really see any issues with this. So I think for most people, this isn't going to be too much of an issue. I kind of love and I hate port locations on the rear. I like the fact that it gets it out of the way when you're using a mouse. So you don't have a mouse cable plugged in on the side where it can get in the way, or the charger. At least the charger is on the right-hand side, so that's good, but not good, of course, if you're left-handed. But for righties, it's fine. It's just where the ports are. So if you are using it on your lap and you bend or push the laptop up like that, you can damage the ports on there. So you're going to have to be very careful about that. And when I push the lid back, you can see that really is about as far as it will go. So any further, again, you're going to risk damaging those ports there. So it's something you're always going to have to remember with this particular laptop. Alright, so this is only just my unboxing and very quick hands-on first impressions. I like it so far. I think it's really good. The build quality, it's thin. Heavier than I would like, yes. I wish it was a little bit lighter, but I can see why it has that weight because they've used metal pretty much all around the whole thing. So the palm rest, that is actually metal as well. So is the lid. The only plastic seems to be just a little bit around the top of the hinge and some plastic around where the screen is. So it's fully laminated. It looks like a great panel. Of course, I need to measure it and get the stats out of it, what kind of color gamut it has. But to me, so far, I think for the average person, it's going to be perfectly fine. And brightness also seems good. Speakers, they need to be a little bit louder. This is a common problem. The keyboard, really nice to type on. Very good. No bounce or flex, really. I was pushing down really hard when I showed you what it looks like. And that touchpad, it's huge. It's a massive touchpad. and it's really good, works out well. So of course I will be back in the full review. I'll cover some gaming. Linux will be tested then. Sorry I did not include it with this initial little hands-on. And of course, battery life, thermals, will it overheat? Can I increase the power limit? And if I do need to do it, perhaps a copper heatsink mod. I don't think I will probably need to. Just early looking at the temps so far, I think it's going to be okay. But that's of course under the stock power limit there that we have. So we'll be back with that full review. Thank you so much for watching this quick hands-on. This is quick for me, by the way, if you are new to my videos, with the Teclast F15 Plus. And I do hope to catch you back in that video. Bye for now.